Hello and welcome to Zak's Traders Cafe. Today I'm joined by Thomas Abraham James, who's President and CEO at Pulsar Helium, and he's even wearing the Pulsar Helium outfit.
That's right. Nice to see you again, Zach.
Very good to see you. I'm not saying this is a lap of honor, these interviews now, but you have had news this week, lab results, which I suppose from our last conversation, it's not going to tell you, I mean, it's sort of telling you what you already know, but obviously there must be detail in there, right?
Yeah, there's detail in there. It's always nice to have it confirmed. Slightly higher number as well, so up to 13.8%. We sent 11 samples off to the laboratory, and we put out that result 13.8 because it's the most believable of all the numbers. It's the one that contains the least amount of atmospheric contamination. Very high level of confidence with that one.
And what does this mean in terms of timelines, milestones, et cetera, et cetera? Obviously, people are waiting to wake up and smell the helium one day, if that's possible, which it probably isn't. What's the scenario there?
No, wake up with a squeaky voice, but no, look, we're very happy with the result. Now we move heaven and earth to get this project moving forward as quickly as possible. So the next steps are that shortly we'll get the downhole wireline data from Baker Hughes. So we'll share that with the market. And then the next big one is the pressure build-up and flow testing. So we're going to go in as soon as we can. So it's currently outside of our control, but the access road has been closed due to the ending of winter road conditions and the imminent beginning of spring conditions. So I guess it's fair enough that the county doesn't want its road destroyed whilst it's in that sort of interphase there. But not long to wait. But as soon as we get that, that's the last piece of data from the well. Give it all to Sproul and then resource update. So a lot of news to come.
I mean, the headlines have been incredible, and you've become a bit of a rock star off the back of that. The biggest helium find in the US, et cetera, et cetera. Is there a job in sort of managing expectations and allowing people to maybe cool off a bit, et cetera, et cetera?
Look, I mean, we've only just released these results, so I think it's only fair to be a little bit excited. If you can't celebrate the win, when can you? But no, look, as I've been consistently saying, it's just really phase one. So now we've got a lot of work to do. We're well placed to do it, financially in a good position. So really, we move forward. But to get that grade is such a head start. It really is. It simplifies a lot of things in terms of the overall amount of gas that needs to be found is less because it's so high concentration. And then for any style of production facility out there, it's only simplified by having such a rich helium content. So it's a huge advantage.
So the helium concentration is one thing. I suppose the amount of helium under the ground is another. Is that a fair question?
Yeah, look, the volume plays a key role. We think we're looking at quite a large system. We don't think this is just an isolated pocket. And I can say that with confidence because we know that there are other helium occurrences in the region. So that exists. And then the other thing is the flow rate. So we know from the original hole that it was coming out under good pressure. People that were there at the time say that it sounded like sitting next to a jet engine, like the gas was coming out of the ground so violently. So for us now, it's frustrating that we have to wait to do the pressure and flow testing, but saying that it's not exactly a long wait. We're talking a few weeks.
Right, and there's already been a significant re-rate in the share price, et cetera, et cetera. How important is that to you?
Look, it is important for our shareholders. I mean, this is the reason why we exist. It's satisfying. I think that we only listed in August. We came out at a modest valuation at that time, and I think that really it almost probably sounded too good to be true to the market. I mean, we said the original discovery 10.5% helium, which it was. And it's just so extraordinarily high concentration that I think it wasn't until we drilled this appraisal well and then confirmed that it was there that now people start to take it seriously.
And in terms of your listing, you're on the TSXV. You probably feel now that you should be in sort of all over the world in terms of your listing. Have you got any sort of plans to change that or do anything in that way?
No, look, we're very happy with the TSXV, so it's fine. I mean, obviously with my accent and so on, that London was quite appealing, but we think that the TSXV is the right place. There are multiple other helium companies there, and then given the geography as well. So what we're looking to do is just to make it a little bit easier for US investors, is getting onto the OTC QB. That's something that will hopefully be happening quite soon. We've already applied for that. And then we also have a quotation in Frankfurt as well for Europe. So try to make it a little bit easier, but certainly no intention of any dual listings or changing exchanges, no.
And have you found, I speak to people about Pulsar as well. I mean, have you found that people have been able to, buy your shares, trade them, etc., from wherever they are? Has that been something which is smooth for them?
No, look, it's been as far as I'm aware, quite smooth for everybody. So it's the TSX is Canada's preeminent exchange, and so therefore it is globally recognized. And I don't believe there's been any difficulties. No.
Right. And just finally, just in terms of, you've got all this action going on. Presumably the phone has been ringing with expressions of potential interest. Is there anything you can tell us about sort of how you might, organize offtake agreements, this or that, or is it just too early?
Look, there's no shortage of appetite out there for the product, that's for sure. So, I mean, it's helpful that helium shortage has now persisted for the best part of a decade. But really what we want to do is we want to do it methodically. We don't want to give any sort of false levels of expectation. So really the next thing is we get the resource update, and then we've got something that we can hang our hat on as being, a real third-party calculation of the size of this. Once we have that information, should it all look good, then definitely we would start to have those serious conversations about long-term offtake.
Thomas Abraham James, President CEO at Pulsar Helium. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks for having me, Zach.